Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 1, Chapter 10.5 Notes. Today we're talking about graphing quadratic functions by using the vertex and a table of values. Our learning target today is to be able to graph a quadratic function by using the vertex, axis of symmetry, and 4 other points. Okay, step number 1. Step number 1 says to find the x-coordinate of the vertex, using this to label the axis of symmetry. Step 2 is to make a table of values using the x-coordinate of your vertex as the middle value. Then use two values less than and two values greater than the x value of the vertex. After that, we're going to use substitution and the original equation to find the y coordinates. So, example number 1. Y equals x squared minus 2x minus 3. We need to know that A is 1, B is negative 2, and C is negative 3. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is to find the vertex, the x-coordinate of the vertex. And we use the opposite of B over 2A. So the opposite of B is 2. 2 times 1. And 2 times 1, that gives us 1. So what we're going to do right away is this 1 goes in the middle, and then we have to draw the axis of symmetry, which is at 1. And now that's the first thing we're supposed to do. Okay? Now, we have to make a table of values. Is the x-coordinate of the vertex is the middle, and that's what we did right there. Now, we have to pick two numbers less than and two numbers greater than. So, if you're having trouble with that, there's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we're at 1, I need two numbers less than and two numbers greater than. So that's why we're going to start filling out a 0 and a negative 1 and a 2 and a 3. Okay, so what we got to do now is we got to figure out what all of those points are. Okay, and now the best way to do that is to plug them into the original equation. So I'm going to write the original equation down. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to substitute the x values in and find out our answers. Now, the super cool thing is you only have to show work for 1, and you only have to plug in 3 points. And that's because our axis of symmetry means that we have mirror images of these points, okay? And you'll see that once we start graphing. So the first point we're going to plug in is negative 1. And this is where you have to be very careful on your calculator when you're plugging everything in to plug it in exactly as you see it. Okay? And when you get that, we get the answer of 0. And if we get 0 there, we're going to get 0 there. That's why it's important when we pick the axis of symmetry that these points are all the same distance. Okay? So the next point we're going to plug in is 0. So we have 0 squared minus 2 times 0 minus 3. Okay, so we get negative 3, negative 3. And now the last point we're going to plug in is 1. So 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 3. And we get negative 4. Alright, let's let's look at example number 2. Now, the equation in example number 2, we're missing something. So I'm just going to rewrite it with the b term. So then we can see that a is 2, b is 0, and c is negative 4. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, that should be plus 0x. That's my bad. So let's go ahead and start plugging things in. We got the opposite of b. Well, there's no opposite of 0. It's just 0. And then 2 times 2. So 0 divided by anything, it's just going to be 0. Okay? So our axis of symmetry is 0. And now, just like from over here, we're going to erase all this because now our starting point is 0. I want 2 to the left and 2 to the right. So 2 to the left and 2 to the right. Okay, and it's the same deal that those are going to be the same and those are going to be the same. We're going to graph both of these at the same time. But let's just go ahead, and I'm going to use the original equation to plug stuff in. So we got 2 times 0 squared minus 4 gives me negative 4. Okay, let's plug in negative 1. 2 times negative 1 squared minus 4. We get negative 2. And remember, this is what we're plugging into. So then we'll write it negative 2 for the next one. So we got 2 times negative 2 squared minus 4. And then we get positive 4. Okay? Alright, let's start the graphing. Okay, for example number 2, we're going to draw the axis of symmetry, which was at 0. Now let's start graphing our points. So we're going to start with example number 1. I'm going to start with the vertex, which is 1, negative 4. So starting at the center, we go right 1, and then we go down negative 4. Okay. My next point is 0, negative 3, and negative 1, 0. Okay, and when you're graphing the other side, it's going to be the exact same distance, so it's kind of a quick way to do that. All right, and now after you've done your points, you're going to make your parabola. And be very careful at the bottom. You want to make sure that it's nice and curved. Bring it up and draw the arrows. Okay. Let's do the same thing with example number 2. We have to make sure to plot all of the points. We're at 0, negative 4. 0, negative 4. 1, negative 2. And then we're at 2, positive 4. Okay, and now I can just go 1, 2, and 1. And there's the parabola. So it's nice and smooth. Okay, you don't want that to look like a V because that's going to be a different type of graph. Okay. So remember, we always got to find the vertex, and then we're going to go 2 points to the left and 2 points to the right on the number line, and then plug your points in. And remember, you only have to show work for one of those points. Just be very careful when you're putting that into your calculator. Okay? All right, let's look at example number 3. Let's write down what A is, which is negative 1. B is 8, and C is -7. Now let's take a look at our quadratic term. Is it going to be a facing up or facing down? Okay, this one's actually going to be facing down because the leading term, the quadratic term, is negative. Alright, so we have to find the x point of the vertex. So we're going to do the opposite of b, which is -8, divided by 2 times a, which is -1. That's -8 times -2. And that is 4. So our vertex, the x point, is 4. Now to find the rest of that, we have to plug 4 in to the original equation. So y equals -4 squared plus 8 times 4 minus 7. And we can just plug all of that in. Just be very careful with your signs, okay? And then minus 7. Okay? And when you do all of that, you should get +9. So 4, 9 is your vertex. So we go +4, +9. And then the axis of symmetry goes through the x coordinates. So we're just going to take that, and axis of symmetry is x equals 4. Now, the only part that's different from this than all the other ones is there's no table, which means you have to do it yourself, and we need 5 points. Okay, you already know that x is 4 here, and that y is 9. Now, if you need help, we're starting at 4 right there. I need to go 2 points each direction. So we're going 2, 3, 5, and 6. Okay, and start plugging that into your calculator. Why don't you pause the video and see if you can get those points. I'll write the equation down just so you know exactly what you need to plug into. Okay, and just do them 1 point at a time. All right, pause the video and good luck. Okay, and those are all the points that you should have gotten. And let's go ahead and graph them. Okay, so we're at +3, +8, and then +2, +5. And then we're just going to do mirror images for the other points. Okay? Alright, so let's draw the parabola. Make sure it's nice and curved. Now if we check it, we said that that was going to go down, and this is the parabola going down. It is. Alright, let's go ahead and turn it over.